to all of you here in London. I know you're not all from London, so I feel funny saying hello, London. But man, it is wonderful to finally be here. We've been looking forward to this for a while. And to see some familiar faces and some new faces and some faces peeking in is wonderful. I hope we keep you there for a while. But if you have to walk away, I won't be offended. Or if you just feel like, boy, this does not apply to me, and you walk out, I'll find you later, but no. But I'm super pumped to be here. I want to thank Abby and Zoe and all the ones with Ocean Media for having me in. And hopefully we will have fun discussing these wonderful creatures called brides together and uncover some of the labyrinth that bride country can be. What does it mean, and why in life does someone settle? Have you heard the term settle? Do you use that over here? Because over in the States, if you say, oh, she's settled, you know what that means, right? Why does someone settle in life, in relationship? What are some reasons why they settle? Have you ever been encouraged or told that you should settle for something in your life and you fought past it? Think back to a time, if you're an entrepreneur sitting here, I know you are with me in the fact that someone told you, it's probably not the best idea. Basically, settle for what the rest of us are doing, right? How dare you think you can do something beyond and follow a dream or whatever. They encourage us to settle. Why? And why does one decide to settle? Give me some feedback really quick. Why would one decide to settle in anything in their life? What's that? It's easier, okay? And I think combined with easier would be a fear, right, of what's hard. So this is easier, so I'll go to what's easier, what's safer, right? I'm gonna go there. Why else? Peer pressure. They're pressured to settle. What does the peer pressure say when you're pressured to settle? I'll tell you, I was 25 and pretty much an old maid in my mind because my mother got married at 21. So as soon as I hit 21 and wasn't married, I was like, that's it. I'm going to be an old maid. So here I get to 25 and I was talking to a lady who saw me with this other guy, that this guy thought we were supposed to be married, right? He thought that for about 10 years, like since he was in 4th grade. And she says to me, well, why not? Why not this guy? I won't say his name. You might meet him sometime, I don't know. Probably not. His name's Ricky. No, but he's a super nice guy. She's like, why aren't you? And I was like, it's just, I don't know. It's just not it. He's a great guy. And she said, Wendy, we all basically settle. We all settle. Like basically, why do you think you should not just settle? You should settle. Your problem is that you're not willing to settle. She didn't say it in those words, but that's what she was telling me. Your problem is, or she would say, you're just waiting for the perfect guy. He doesn't exist. I'm like, I'm not waiting for the perfect guy. I'm not the perfect girl. I'm just waiting for the right guy for me, right? Because then I'll be the right person for him. Isn't that how that works, right? And if I settle, then I'm not the right person for that person either. And I was having to hold on to this truth with everything in me because no one was telling me that. Nobody was saying, Wendy, don't settle. Everyone was saying, either there's something wrong with you and that's why you're not with someone yet, or you think you're something and you need to just stop thinking you're something and settle like the rest of us and make us all feel good that we settled, frankly, right? Yes, so I find that there are 3 reasons why people settle. 1, they don't think they are enough. They don't think they are enough. And 2, they don't think they have enough. They think they're missing something. They don't have enough, whether it's enough money, enough whatever, enough clout in their family or enough education or whatever. They don't have enough. And 3, they think it's pride-filled to think that their life could be special. People tell them it's bad to think that their life could be special. No, your life should be just normal. You think you're special? Why do you think you're so special? Right? Peer pressure, peer pressure, peer pressure, come down. And I want to tell you, that the struggle that brides have are these three. The way to win back. This session today and tomorrow is called the Great Customer Win Back. And for me, I see it as a love story. I see it as a love story. I see it as my own story as well. I identify with it. You know why? There are fears that drive people to settle. There are new things that come that tell you, oh, you know what? Here's a new way to look at the fact that you should settle. And in our industry, I dare to say we are in the one retail industry that we can lean so hard into the fact that we're telling the customer, you are enough to be celebrated. You have enough to be celebrated. And because you are loved, you are special and worthy of the miracles happening in your life. That is our key to win them back. When I met Gabe, y'all got to meet Gabe, he was up here. When I met Gabe, I had just turned 27. And the impossibility of the two of us even considering being together was very real. Because when we met, I was 27, he was still 18, just saying. So that was not even a possibility. It was impossible. It was not even a thing to, in fact, I even said to my little sister, who's his age, I was like, hey, Natalie, that guy's sharp. She was like, yeah, I know. But he ended up on my drama team that summer instead of hers. But he saw things very differently than what I did at that time. He turned 19 2.5 weeks after we met, which is a little better. And when we got married, we were in the same decade, right? So that was great. I was 29, he was 21. But that was a miraculous part of our story that I never anticipated. And then people were like, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. And I thought, I know, it's crazy. That makes no sense. Like, none of that makes sense. His family was like, what? My family was like, what? It made no sense. But still, the two of us, it superseded time in a very real way. Love tends to do that. So I want to start off with the first point. You are enough. Can you imagine the fears that come with the fact that I'm looking at a 19-year-old and I'm 27 and he is saying, I love you? What are some of the fears you have? My goodness. One of the things that Gabe did, I'm just going to tell you, that was so precious to me. He only ever said things like, oh my goodness, you are so beautiful. I love your eyes. I love your smile. No other physical things. And why that was important to me? Those things are going to fade faster than his are going to fade. Right? And I was like, oh my goodness, if my security is there, I'm sunk. We, with brides, what we need to focus on with them is the things that about them that will not change. It is not about this dress shows off this. When we're talking body things, it's the wrong message to the brides, right? She needs to understand, something that I teach with Jesus Speak Bride is that this is the most self-expressive garment anyone will ever purchase. Why that is so key for your stylist to say and use is that it's our job to tap into who this girl is, who she is, and help her express it in the dress, right? And if we teach her that, we control the crowd that's with her. Because when we say to the bride, next to the crowd, we back up to the crowd, this crowd that's saying their opinions about what she's wearing. How many of you have ever had a crowd share opinions about, right, yeah, it's a wonderful thing in bride country that they feel it's their need to do. She brings too many and they tend to say too much, right? But why? They think they're there to help her decide what looks good on her outside. We've got to change the narrative. Not only when she's in the store, but before she comes. But we've got to change the narrative to what's on the inside. What's on the inside, and this is how it looks. When I come out with the bride, and I put her on a stand, and they immediately start saying, oh, I don't like that lace. Oh, that color. Or, oh, I don't like that one at all. This little peanut gallery over here. So instead of turning to them and saying what I know that we all want to say sometimes we want to turn and say, it's the bride's decision. So let's wait and see what the bride says. What does the party feel towards you at that point? they feel defensive. They don't like that at all. And you've lost the team that you need to win with the bride. You need this team. You need the team, don't you? And yet, so then you stand there as a stylist, and you're a good-hearted, kind stylist who doesn't want to be a car salesman. You want to be kind. And so then you just sit there quietly with your eyes big, like, I can't say anything to you, or to you, or to... I hate this moment. And then after they're gone, we just go to each other in the office and we say, oh, that party of people, right? It's very powerless feeling. I want to tell you, in things of love, you are never powerless. In the arena of love, you are never powerless. It will always empower you to figure out the way to love all of the people. Okay, and that's key. This bride brought them for a reason. They think they're helping to protect her from you. So it's your job to prove there is no need to protect her from you, right? You're for her and you're for them. So one thing you've got to practice, by the way, is open-face consulting. If you've never heard that from Do You Speak Bride, you need to practice it. It looks like this. Your eyebrows go up and your face opens up, okay? That's for any information you need to share with the bride that could be considered offensive. Whether you're measuring, whether you're anything like that, open face. You got it? When she asks, so how much do I need to put down? You're all going to open your face and you're going to say, okay, so it's payment in full to order. See the open face? Isn't that great? And then she goes, oh, okay. And she pulls out the, you see that? Okay? Mom goes to the dress that's too small. She has a daughter that's a size 20 and she goes to the size 4 mermaid and says, oh, this one, you've got to try this one, right? Open your face. Open your face first. You're going to compliment her taste. That's vital. First thing you do is validate. You're going to say, oh my goodness, oh I love that, that's gorgeous. Do you see that? That's the first thing. Then you're going to use the language of bride, which we teach with Do You Speak Bride. When you have at the beginning laid the groundwork for the word tricky, that's when the word tricky gets used here. You've laid the groundwork before they've gone and looked at dresses and before you've pulled, which by the way, you should be leading and pulling. Don't let them be the only ones. You should be leading and pulling. But if when you say to her, before you go pull, you know she's a size around 20 and she's showing you pictures of mermaid gowns. So you know what's going to happen, don't you? You know what's going to happen? Yeah. So you're going to get ahead of it and you're going to look at her and you're going to say, okay, so what we're going to do is this. I'm going to go pull for you in what you've described and in your price point. You guys look through. If you see something you want to try, point to it. I'll carry it. And when we get about 4 or 5, we'll start. Sound good? Okay, let's go. And you turn around and go, right? That's for every bride. When it's the size 20 bride, you're going to say before you go. And if you put one of the straight cut dresses, they can be tricky. So if it's one of those tricky ones, I'll let you know. Some of those like barely fit on my right leg. So if they're tricky, I'll let you know and we'll pull one in the same cut. But when we get about 4 or 5, we'll start. Sound good? So I've laid the groundwork for the word tricky. Very nebulous, general, but enough. To where when mom points to the size 4 dress, I say, oh my goodness, oh I love that, I love your taste. That's one of those tricky ones. I'm gonna go get one in a similar cut, great job. And I put that back and I go get a different dress in the same cut. Do you understand? Now, on this Thursday, the webinar that we're doing, I will go further into what you do after that. Make sense? Because your next thoughts, if you've worked with brides at all, is, but what if mom pulls it anyway? What if aunt pulls it anyway and puts it in the dressing room? What if she, right? We'll answer those on Thursday, no worries, because there are wonderful answers. It's about empowering you. But the point here for this one is how to win her back, because how do we lose them? We lose them by communicating through small things. You are not enough. You are not worthy of celebration. In fact, I get so tired of the fact that you think you're worthy of celebration. You want to bring too many people. You want to bring food and snacks. You want to bring into my business and operation things that are celebration and party. And how dare you? And what the bride hears is, you don't think I'm worthy of being celebrated. And we put out rules like crazy sometimes, guys. We put out so many rules that they're greeted with rules, yes? And they come in and they're ready for a party because the first pillar in bride country is celebration. They're celebrating all the time. Everything is all celebration. And then they walk in and we're like, hold up. Check that celebration at the door. I don't think you think, do you think you're something? You are called a customer and you're here for a transaction. That's what we're saying. We are saying all the things that make you excited and celebrated about love right now, Girlie, that's not what this is about. It's about the fact that I have plopped thousands of pounds on dresses that are hanging here. And that couch, I paid for that probably too much, right? And do you think it's cheap to have these workers here? I don't think so. I'm about to go to White Gallery in London Bridal Week. Keep your food away from my dresses. That's what we think, because where our treasure is, that's where our heart is. So where you spend your money, you gotta think, am I spending or am I investing? If you're spending, then it has power over you. If you're investing, it empowers your decisions later. Choose where you put your dollars based on, am I spending or am I investing? Why am I so passionate about providing training for stylists? Because stylists are the engine inside the shop. And so many times, instead of treating them like people that can be developed and valued and grown and celebrated themselves, we treat them as slaves pulling our chariots. And after the Saturday, well, why didn't she buy? Well, did you say this, and did you say this, and did you do this? We grill them. So a stylist at the end of her appointment is petrified, because if she says no, I'm gonna get grilled, right? Or so then she becomes pushy, and then we create a culture of fear in our shop. Guess what? There is no fear in love. If we create a culture of love, our stylists will become more creative in how to close. If we create a culture of fear, they will lock up. Research all over the place. When you try to tell someone, when you're looking at a bride, why would a bride choose wed to be? Why? Why would she choose David's? Why would she choose, in the States, Beholden? I believe it's because there has been a little bit of a reaction that's been a little long time coming, or been happening for a long time, where we're trying to tell the bride, slap her hand down. No, you can't. No, you can't. You're not worthy, you're not worthy, you're not worthy. And to a degree, they start believing us. And they start saying, I don't need an experience. In fact, I don't want to be intimidated by not being able to try on enough sizes, not having the right prices, waiting for the dress to come in, all these things that are just intimidating to me. You know what? It's not that big a deal. I'm not going to waste that money on this day. This day is about our relationship, so I'm just going to go and I'm going to get a dress over here, stand in line, hold 3 dresses, not get attention, and that's okay because this is good. That's better. I think there's a certain percentage of brides that no matter what will go there. There's a certain percentage of brides that will order online or try it. That there's nothing to do, that will happen. Those are not the ones I'm worried about. What I'm worried about are the ones that we have lost, that we can win back. We can win back, but we've got to be proactive about putting the message out there of why they deserve the special treatment. We've got to value their heart more than they do. When Gabe and I started, we verbalized to each other that we loved each other. I called my parents that summer. We're on a summer tour. I was this team leader. He was a team member. And I call my parents and I'm talking to them. I'm like, so there's this guy. And I try to explain and they say, what are you doing? You've got to, what? You need to end this right now. And I was like, but if you could just see us together. They're like, you need to, okay, no, end this right now. At the end of the conversation, my mom said, Wendy, you have dated, you have your master's degree. He's just going into his 2nd year of college. He hasn't, you don't want him one day to wake up and regret that he didn't date more. And that hit me like a ton of bricks. I was like, oh my goodness, I would never want him to regret. Oh, that's it, it's done. I wrote him a 12-page letter, and I asked him if I could meet with him, and I read it to him. And I ended it. And then he said, can I have that? And I said, yes. I read it to him because I wanted him to know I was so serious. And he took that, and he left, and he got a piece of paper and a pen, and he wrote me back, which I was not expecting. And he said, I love the fact that you love what your parents are saying and that you care about their opinion about this. I love that. But I have looked at our ages all the way through, and I'm fine with it. But what I hear in this letter is your head talking and not your heart. And I want to be where your head and your heart meet. So if I have to love you from a distance, I will, but know that I still love you. What? I ended it. He unended it. Like, just like that, right? How did he do it? Did he sit back and go, you are a grown woman and you're listening to your parents? He didn't. Did he give up? Did he sit back and complain about the fact that he was born too late or I was born too early? No. He got up and valued my heart more than I was. He did not hear what I was saying and say, that's the only opinion in the room. He said, I am still in this. And you can, I hear what you're saying, I value what you're saying, but I'm going to tell you what I feel. And I'm going to tell you that I value your heart. Now for us, you guys, I want us to not fear the bride's going away. I want us to get up and realize we still have a voice. Each one of you has an individual voice with your shop. And what does your voice need to be saying? Does it only need to be saying, hey, look at our designers? No, your voice needs to be saying, this is who I am. This is what I believe. And this is what I know moving forward. And no matter what, I'm going to stand here and reach towards you with my heart in my hands, saying to you, bride, hello, girl that's going to come in here. You are enough. You have enough. And there is a love happening in your life right now. So you are special. And no one will celebrate you more than we will. We will celebrate you more than anyone else. Because we believe in love. We find ourselves in a paradox of this. It's their life moment of finding their dress. It's our everyday. And we think, Wendy, I'm just not all perky like you are. So I don't get all giddy when the brides come in. I think that's like a little over the top. Some of you may even be thinking, that's okay and cute for America, but in England, we're a little more proper. Let me tell you, you are not alone in thinking that. In Washington State, they will tell me the same thing. Wendy, brides in Seattle, they're just cool. They're not all girly and giddy, so... And you know what I say? Saturday morning, I will hit the floor at your shop. Watch me. Watch the bride. The bride never walks in saying to you, will you please celebrate me and make... Never. She always looks normal. She always looks cool and collected. She doesn't look like an idiot. But this is the truth. When love happens in someone's life, they can't believe it. They can't believe it. And a part of them is afraid it might not be real. A part of them is afraid they don't deserve it, so it's going to go away. A part of them is afraid they're going to fail this person and that person's going to go away. There's fears attached to when love happens because it's such a miracle. You really want it to happen, but you don't think it's gonna. So when someone comes alongside and looks at you in the eye and says, oh my goodness, I'm so excited for the love that's happening in your life right now, in so many words, you start to believe, really? Okay, you're excited about it? I'm really excited too, I'm just afraid to say it. Do you see how one excitement feeds the other? And if every purchase under the sun is ultimately an emotional purchase, this one is the mother of all emotional purchases. And you know what we do? We act like they've come to a dentist office. We greet them with a clipboard. How does this feel when you want to enter a party? If you were to enter a friend's party and she says, welcome, can I have your name? Were we expecting you? Wonderful. And when is your wedding? That's wonderful. And where are you getting married? Oh, that's great. And have you tried on dresses before? You know what? The next question may as well be, and how would you rate your pain? 7, 8? Yeah? Okay. And is it mostly in the lower back region? All right. Do you see the difference? Why is it okay that I can say those same words in that same way in this setting? There's something wrong. We're celebrating a life moment. We're not in a dentist's office. We've got to change the culture of our shop to one of celebration and love and a party. When she comes in, if you can, some of you might be freaking out right now if you're like, wait, we need all the information on the clipboard, Wendy. What are we going to do if we don't have the information on the clipboard? I will tell you there's plenty of time at the end to pull out a clipboard and get the information if you need it. But the beginning, you know what this says? Hello, I'm a salesperson. That's what it says. Without it, it's a person to person. And I can say, hi, I'm Wendy. Hi, welcome. Do you see that? My hand's free. I'm not getting her in her head. I'm getting her in her heart. I'm valuing her heart more than she expects me to. Do you see the difference? And when I do that, I start her emotional snowball rolling. And it picks up speed. And the girl who comes in with this attitude, I'm not buying today, it's my first visit. Right? I love those people. I do, because all I need her to do is change just to this. All I need her to do, in my mind, I see her going like this. And by the time I'm done the beginning section of greeting, I want her going like this. What? That's what in my head, that's what I picture. It's not, do you see what it is? It's all about my connection, excitement, and front loading. I call it fired up front loading. And it's where you and how you give the information on the front. We'll talk more about that on Thursday. But the ultimate overarching truth is what I'm communicating to her is this. I'm going to value you more than you do right now and more than you ever thought I would, because I'm not a salesperson. I am here to help you win. I believe in you. And I want to say a big problem we have in our shops. Can I tell you this? We will never win brides back if we don't believe in them. We've got to believe in them. Not just believe what they say, believe in them. Have you watched someone, either on TV or in your own life, or maybe it's you, who when someone believed in you, you accomplished more? Right? Someone came alongside and said, okay, I see doubt in your eyes, but I know you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And when you did it, they're the ones celebrating with you, right? My voice teacher in college was this. I'm a mezzo, so I'm a low, voice when I'm singing. And my voice teacher was trying to get me to hit this high note, and I knew I couldn't do it. I was like, he doesn't understand, I can't do it, right? And I started to cry. You can't sing when you cry. It tightens up your throat and you can't sing at all. So I was like, okay, this is stupid, stop crying. And I'm looking at this guy, and you know what I had to do? I had to say, this guy is an expert. He sang at the Met. I've got to believe him and not me. And I had to swallow and then do everything he just said, and out pops this note. And I'll never forget, his name's Mr. Gibbs. He was sitting at this big grand piano, right? And as soon as I hit it, he slammed his hand on the piano and stood up and he goes, yes! Like that. And I was like, oh my goodness, oh, what in the world? Like, wow, where did that come from? I've never been able to hit that note again. But in that moment, if I had more lessons with him, I believe I would. Why? He empowered me, he believed in me, and he never let it go. The bride that comes in and says, I'm not buying today, she's serving you a 12-page letter to break up with you. And I want you to just take it and say, can I have that? Here you go. You're going to unend it. Do you see what I'm saying? How do you do it? You value her heart more than she does. You open your face and you don't say, you're here for a transaction, and because you've said no to me, I'm picturing I'm about to waste 2 hours of my life. Right? 2 hours of my life on you, and you're going to walk away. I will educate you on everything you need to know about bridal, enough to where you go down the street and buy the other dress. Great. No, the person who believes in her. What does she actually want? Somebody tell me, what does the bride want? Sure, to look skinny. Amen to that. Don't we all? What is she there to do? What is she there for? For what? Her dream dress. Her dream dress. Do we all agree? She is on the search for a dream dress. The beautiful thing is we can get behind that search. We can believe in that search. And you know what I have found? If you believe in the person, they accomplish way more than they think they can, and you can educate them beyond their miseducation. What was the miseducation in my life? That it won't work for a girl who's 8 years older than her husband to actually work. That's ridiculous. You know what the re-education was? Yeah, it's very unusual, but that's why the story's so cool. if you understand that stories are the fourth pillar in bride country, and I've only told you two so far, I know, but the fourth pillar in bride country are stories, then when you say to the bride who's in there for the first time, it's coming on Thursday too, but you're here, right? So I'll tell you now. So when she's here, and I'm gonna say to her, oh my goodness, it's your first time trying on? See, I didn't hear she's not gonna buy. I only heard it's her first time trying on. And that gets me super excited, right? My girl Patty at my shop fell in love with her husband, married when she was 16. She had to get her parents to sign off. They're still married 43 years later. Cool story, right? She could be a Patty, because how you find your dress is very similar to how you find the right person. So I'm gonna be like, oh my goodness, it's your first time? Okay, I love this. Okay, so what you need to know about us is this. So trying on dresses and finding your dress is very similar to finding the right person. Like, in no cheesy way, like in real way. So like, magic happens when you least expect it, and it's so cool when a blessing just falls in your lap because you're not expecting it, and that's how love is, which is really cool. And I love the fact that you're one of those brides that has a chance to have an untouched experience all the way through, like perfect, beginning to end. Because I don't know what happens out there, but I know you don't have to look very far to know that not every experience is perfect. So I don't know what happens there, but I know what we do in here, and it's super fun, so I can't wait. Okay, so talk to me about the feel of your wedding. That little paragraph makes them go like this. Huh? Perfect experience? I had not thought of the perfect experience. I had only thought of the 10 experiences I'm supposed to have. But now the perfect experience is raised above the 10 experiences because I have valued her heart more than she does, without bashing anyone else, but with setting the expectation. And then at the end, did I say to her, so does that sound good to you? No. I went into the next question, but I did not demand an answer of her. Do you see that? I did not demand for her to agree with me. I just said how excited I was and why. And I set the expectation of what this experience is like, and then talk about the feel of your wedding. What am I saying? You are worthy of celebration. I'm getting to witness a part of a beautiful story that I can't wait to watch all the way through. And this is gonna be super fun. And what they expected me to do, which is shut down as a salesperson, I'm not a salesperson. They can't shut me down. I'm someone who coaches and believes in the people that I meet. You've got to be that. You have your stylist be that. You tell them the girls that walk in here are worthy of celebration, whether their budget is 300 pounds or 3,000 pounds. They are enough. They have enough. And because they are loved, their life is special. We get to be just a part of that journey. Do you see that? Why is it that a bride, when you make that kind of impact on her life, when she leaves, the reviews that she writes are novels? And she says, that was the best experience of my life. How do you get reviews like that? You go to deep places inside her. You believe in deep places. And she's like, what am I feeling? What am I experiencing? How did you do that? Oh my goodness. And I will tell you, I have watched so many brides say yes to a dress that in my opinion was not as pretty as the picture they showed me at the beginning of the dresses they had already tried on. Why? She felt nothing. She felt nothing in those dresses. She was dealing with somebody who was selling her a product, and now she's dealing with somebody who's believing in her person. We're not selling product, we're believing in a person. Do you see that? This is not a transaction. I had so many shops say, Wendy, I want our brides to feel like family when they leave. It's so nice to say it. It's a whole other thing to live it. To live it. We promise to be family when they come in, and then when something goes wrong, we go, oh, excuse me, but here's my contract. You signed it. I'm a business. Did you think I was family? You thought I would care? Oh, you're bad. That's called bait and switch, right? And you say, Wendy, wait, we've got to have a contract, because what if they change their mind? Yeah, we've got to have a contract, sure. We have to have them sign, all sales are final, alterations are a separate charge. We got to point out both of those things and make sure they sign it, absolutely. But when the problems happen, how we address them and how we are equipped to address them is everything. And I want to challenge you right now. You're here at Market. Make wise investments, my friends. These investments will either help you to lead with your heart or keep you from leading with your heart. They will lock up your money and therefore lock up your heart, or they will empower you in the margins and in selling more to where your heart is free to operate. Do you see the difference? Last time I was here, last year, there were two things that I mentioned at the Owners Summit that we did, here in London, but it was not at this location. And I had quite a few shops contact me afterwards and say, thank you, Wendy. I did those two things, and it's made a major difference in this year. And you know what the two things were? Charge for shipping and do payment in full. And that was kind of a shock look last year with, I think charging for shipping is just rude. The reality is, this generation of people is used to paying shipping. They're used to paying shipping. And even here in England, like it was a kind of a challenging thing to try, and it may be uncomfortable to hear, but over in the States, it's even some are like, I just build shipping into the cost of the dress. I don't see how that's any better, because it's still charging shipping. If you're not charging shipping, do you know what you're doing? You're limiting yourself to help in customer service issues, because there is so little margin for boutiques. This industry is not set up for the success of boutiques. It's not. It's set, sadly, I don't know if you've experienced it, but it is a challenge to actually feel like you've moved forward. You feel like you're running in place. The money comes in, and then you go to market. The money comes in, and then you go to market, right? And it's like, how can we move forward? How can I help? When a customer service issue happens, I want to care, but I don't have the pocketbook to care. When the designer charges you shipping for the dress to come to you at your shop, does the designer charge you shipping for it to come to you? Question mark. Is it beyond the wholesale price of the dress? Yes, it is. So you have the wholesale price and then shipping. Has shipping changed a bit over the last few years for you? If you notice, yeah, so different changes in shipping. A few of you are going, no, not really. Some of you are like, yes, it has. So it depends on maybe your location. But when shipping changes, that affects the bottom line of the shop, right? And even every time you order a dress and it comes in, there's shipping attached to it. If that's not figured into what is happening in the transaction, it ties your hands further. You're tied with your margins, and you're tied with then shipping on top of it. It is your boutique. You can do what you want with it. That's the beauty of it. You can do what you want with it. But from my perspective as a boutique owner, when a bride is standing there in tears because a seamstress has ruined the dress, we had nothing to do with why that dress was ruined. I love the fact that I can look at her and say, Sarah, I just want you to know it's going to be okay. We looked in the portal for the designer. We're getting you a new dress. I want you not to worry, and we're going to overnight it. It's going to be here in 2 days. And this one we will just take. We're going to get you the new dress. What's your schedule like on Tuesday? Can you come in? I can rescue her because it's there. Do you see that? Instead of, no, I'm sorry, it wasn't our fault. We're not a seamstress. You're going to have to, and I'm sorry, or you have to buy a new dress, or maybe all of these options that put the pressure on her. I encourage you, find the ways. If it's not shipping, if you don't feel like shipping is a way that you can do 25 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever it is for the shipping, just to have that covered, and just a little pocketbook here to where you can do amazing things for brides, then I want to challenge you, you've got to find it somewhere. Otherwise, your heart stays small because it's crowded and crushed. And I want your heart to be free to fly. So find the ways to be able to lead with your heart when you have to. Now, when you say, I've canceled my wedding, I want to return, do you say, oh yeah, sure? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you are a doormat, that everything the bride wants you give. That's not love, right? That's a doormat. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is are there moments in your life that you can think of? Let's say a bride's got a story where her mother has cancer and is now going to pass away faster than they planned. So then everything has to change, and you want to step in and rescue. We want to be free in so many moments to lead with our heart. But what we find in business is that business sometimes can limit us. And I want to just encourage you that you can find simple ways that make sense in business that empower you to still lead with your heart. And if we don't, the business side, the numbers of it, your spreadsheets will drown you and change you from the person that you naturally are to a person that you never wanted to be. Our numbers should serve us. We should not be serving our numbers. We rule the numbers. They don't rule us, right? So if you think opposite, it will stop you from being able to actually operate as a human being. And then you will spend your time doing this one thing. Are you ready? This one thing that blocks love. It's self-protection. I'm just going to worry about protecting myself. I'm going to protect myself from you and this, and I'm going to hate on this person, and the bride comes in and we're like this because you're here to take from me. We're self-protecting. And what do you do when you self-protect? You tend to build walls. You build walls. And then we're like, wait, where are the brides going? Right? I will tell you where not to find the little places for money. Can I just encourage you in this? Services like, and will you still be kind to me if I step on toes a little bit? Now, I don't know if this is here. I don't actually know if it's here. I know in the States this has happened. A bridesmaid calls your shop and says, hey, I'm ordering a dress from over in Ireland, and I just need to be measured. Can I come in to be measured? And in the States, the issue was, and I told her, well, yes, for $25. You can come in and we'll measure you, and and then guess what happened? That bridesmaid put a 1-star review on every platform she could find. Right? And so the reason I even know this happened is because that went on a forum of owners. Could you please help me answer this 1-star review? She called and she wanted to be measured, and I told her it would be $25, and now she's putting a 1-star review everywhere. Help me out. And I wanted to say, I can help you out. And it'll take 45 seconds. How much would you pay me to fix this for you in 45 seconds? Measure the blessed girl. That's it. 45 seconds is all it takes. She was like, well, we should be paid for our time and our expertise. Come on. No, you should be paid because you are the best at service. You are the best at caring. You are a small boutique who can do tons of things for brides, and measuring her is so simple. She can come in and we measure her, and guess what I'm doing the whole time I'm measuring her? I'm connecting with her. I'm telling her about the fact that our shop was an old theater. I'm talking to her about how much fun we have with our brides and asking about the wedding. And oh my goodness, here, take these cards with you. Yeah, so, and you live close to here? Oh my word, when we do a fashion show, you should totally come see. Because guess what, when she leaves my shop, or when she gets off the phone, either one, she's gonna talk about us. How is she talking about us? That's advertising. And if that shop owner, I'm sure that shop owner would have paid me a good $500 at least to take those 1-star reviews away. $500 for 25 bucks? Sometimes our thinking about self-protection can ruin our ability to win the brides back. Now, how much time do I have? Am I over? Good, okay, so I need to tie this to social media really quick. You guys have been an amazing audience so far, I just love it. Tie this to social media. There's this whole labyrinth out there. Okay, so Wendy, what do we do? The algorithm keeps changing for Facebook and for Instagram and all of these things. What do we do? Which ones should we do? How do we do it all? How many of you feel sometimes as a shop owner that you have to wear 5,000 hats and you have to be able to do all the things so very well, and it's like, bleh. I want to tell you, first of all, you personally are enough for what you're doing. You have enough inside you and with your team for what you're doing. And the very reason you are in this industry is because you are special. The impact you are making is special. So those 3 things you've got to believe about yourself before we can even teach brides. If you look over and get paralysis by analysis, my friend Pam said, was, she just analyzes so much and she can't even do. If you're doing that, if you're looking around, you're analyzing so much and so you're paralyzed to move forward, it'll stop you on social media. You'll say, well, I can't do that, or I'm no good at that, oh my goodness. Or what if I go on video and I'm bad and I trip over my words or whatever? Do you know the most important thing about video right now? Well, first of all, is that you do it. Secondly, is that you're transparent. So mess-ups are perfect. They're perfect. If you mess up, just laugh and keep talking and go. It's not about, welcome to Belle Bridal. We are here to meet your every need. That's perfect in some people's minds because it's good. No, it's actually the worst. live video on your Facebook feed. Do we want to win customers back or not? And I say, yay, we do want to win customers back. How do we do it? We do what Wed2Be can't. We start being individual voices, standing up and saying louder, you are worth it. And guess what? In our collection here, we have an amazing collection of plus-size dresses. Our dresses go anywhere from this size to this size. And so a lot of brides will ask us, what price points do you carry? Our price point is from this to this. And did you know we have dresses that are off the rack? And the reason we do is because we know some brides are like, either I don't want to order, or I'm getting married in 2 months, and I just want this to be so easy. You can absolutely buy, oh sorry, off the peg. Do you see what I'm saying? Video tells them, and they see you, and they get to know your staff, and you're gonna tell them why you do what you do. Wed2Be's strength, in my opinion, is on their website. One, it's very clean. It looks very clean and modern. Number two, though, it's very transparent. These are the dresses we have, these are the sizes we have, and these are the locations that we have. And the language they use, they twist the fact that they don't do appointments to something positive. It's not something positive, but they make it sound like it's something positive on their website. You can come in anytime. Well, that sounds delightful. All the brides are gonna come at the same time because that's when they're free. It's not delightful, right? They're not being valued. So when we talk about appointments, if you have a free dressing room, would you take a walk-in? Yes, your head should be nodding. Yeah, you would take a walk-in, right? So when a bride comes in and your dressing rooms are full, is that a good thing? It actually is a great thing. Your dressing rooms are full. Open your face. Be like, okay, I'm so excited. So all our dressing rooms are full. What does your schedule look like at 2 o'clock? Because I can totally pencil you in right now. Maybe you could go grab a bite to eat and be back at 2? Yeah, perfect. Okay, awesome. And you know what I'm gonna do? Do you see what I'm doing? Open face, I'm excited. This is where the thing is happening. It's a party. And the bride finds herself going, okay. And they walk away so pumped. And I said no to her. Do you see? Speak, bride, value her, be excited for her. But when we're self-protecting, what do we think? She's gonna get upset that she doesn't have a dressing room. She's gonna go give us a 1-star review. So our self-protection face looks like this. I'm sorry, did you have an appointment? Oh, wow. Well, we do by appointments, and we're full right now. So we have a 2 o'clock available, if that will work for you. That's good customer service that's self-protecting. Do you see the difference? Does she feel like she has won or lost? Has she succeeded or failed? She has failed. And she walks away going, oh, they were the dresses were pretty, but she's already down. Guys, we've got to get the emotional ball rolling, remember? So we're so excited. The first thing, and I'm gonna go to my grave saying this. I think it's gonna be written on my tombstone. First interaction with the bride, and the more I teach this and the more I work with brides, the more convinced I am of it. Talk to me about it sometime. You must, if you want to win, you must ask to see the ring. First. Well, Wendy, I do it once we're in the appointment and I happen upon it. And oh, that's so pretty, right? And I say, oh, that's nice. It's just ineffective. Why is it at the beginning? Someone tell me why. You don't have to tell me why. I'll tell you why it's at the beginning. Because she's gonna teach me so much about her with how she shows me the ring. I'm gonna learn about who she is with her body language and how she relates to me, and I can morph to her faster. I'm gonna learn about her history with what she tells me about the ring. I'm going to celebrate the thing that is representative of the relationship in her life. It has nothing to do with the actual hardware. It's the relationship that I'm celebrating. Do you see that? And when I do, she shows me a little more of herself. And is it a daring question? A little bit. A little bit to greet someone and say, oh, you're the bride? Can I see the ring? Do you see this pose? It's not, may I see the ring? It's not that. It's, can I see the ring? If you're not sure how to do it, your hands go together, your shoulders go up, and your eyebrows go up. Your head goes to the side a little bit. It's the most non-aggressive posture ever, right? And she'll show you. And when she does, guess what? We're setting up a pattern of our relationship. What's our relationship going to be in this appointment? I'm going to ask you something that you didn't expect right off the bat that makes you more transparent. You're going to share with me, and then I'm going to celebrate with you. And I set that up at the beginning so that at the end, when I need to ask her, so are you saying this is your dress? It's the same relationship. I can ask the question that's a little bit like this, and she gives me that, and we celebrate. Do you see this? I'm showing her, I will respond to what she shares with me. If she says, oh, I don't have a ring, we're not traditional. Do you say, oh, great, what do we do then? No, of course, that's totally fine. Does she have the person? Yeah, that's what matters, right? So that's what I will tell her. I'll be like, girl, you have the person, yeah? High five. Yeah, let's do it. Come over here, let's talk about your wedding. That's so cool. Okay, so what's the feel of your wedding? What do I already know about her, though? She's different, she's non-traditional, she wants something different. I'm light years ahead of the other stylist who's now gonna go waste time with dresses, right? I can win faster. Do you see how it's tied to the ability for your stylist to close in the amount of time they should? It starts here. The relationship goes deeper, faster. Forget small talk, go to deep talk. That's what we want. That's how you build relationships. And it shows her, I'm not afraid. I'm gonna lead, and it gives her security, which is key. So the three things when you are on social media, it's not about what platforms and how do we pay for this and are there ads you can do on Facebook? Absolutely. But it's not about how much money you're spending on Facebook as much as it is the content of what you're sharing. What is Facebook rewarding right now with their algorithm? What are they rewarding? Somebody tell me, what have you read just recently that Facebook has changed that has freaked business owners out? Why is it freaking them out? Somebody tell me. You know, you can't get it out. What's that? Yes, okay, that's right. They're limiting like this merchandising ad type of thing, right? They're limiting that. What are they rewarding? Interaction between friends. They want real engagement. They call it meaningful engagement, right? Guess what? This is beautiful news for us. Beautiful news. I want you to not be afraid and realize, oh goodness, that's the most power I ever needed in my life. I get to get on there with a camera and get on Facebook and actually have a relationship with my brides and tell them how amazing they are and how much we love what we do and how amazing our people are and the parties they can be involved with and what we love about what we do in this time in their life and what we think about how exciting marriage is, and we can talk about all the things that make them engage, which then spreads. Instead of, I'm going to just put, this is the designer we carry and the new dresses that are in, and I'm going to hide behind my designers. I need you. I need you. The brides need you. They don't interact with the designer even when they're finding the dress or when it has issues with the dress. They interact with you. They've got to trust you. So put yourself out there and don't be afraid to do it. There can be a thought that, Wendy, this isn't about us, it's about the brides, and it's about dresses, it's not about us. No, it's absolutely about you and the relationship. You step forward. You are enough. You have enough. And because of the position you are in your life, you are meant to make a difference. And if you can digest it, then you can spit it back out to anyone who comes into the culture, into your shop. And when you come up against obstacles, instead of them being frustrating to you, you have this beautiful culture and vortex of we are going to figure this out with a creative mind. The best teachers are those who love their students enough to come up with outside of the box ways for them to learn. Isn't that true? Yes. And they have to do it all the time. New students all the time. And guys, I want to encourage you, we are all in a marathon of sprints. We're in a marathon of sprints on Saturday. You've got an hour and a half, or however long your appointments are. An hour and a half, you've got to get in and take them on this arc and start again, hit reset, start again, care again, and hit reset. And there can be a temptation for all of us to say, the easiest thing right now would be to actually not care as much for the brides and give them fake smiles and just do a thing. And sweetie, okay, oh, so nice. So is this your dress? Can we write this ticket up? Anything that's in your language that takes you from friend, expert stylist friend, to salesperson, you lose it. And you say, why didn't they do it? They were crying in the dress and their whole family was crying, and as soon as I said, shall we write the ticket up? They were like, oh, I think I should think on it. Because you jerked her out of the world that she's in. Keep her in that world. How you are in that world. Don't be afraid of rejection either. Don't be afraid of rejection. Ask the question. So many times in life when we've been rejected, it's hard for us then to put it out there and have another question where we feel like we're going to get slammed. Don't be afraid. when your goal is for her to win, it's not a rejection to you. Do you see that? It's an honest question with an honest answer, then you can actually answer it after that. There's so much training for your stylist I want to help you do and take to them. On Thursday, the webinar that we'll be doing, it's 99 pounds for your whole store to watch it. It's 3 hours long. It's gonna be an hour and a half and a break and another hour and a half. We're gonna be going over a ton of things. The thing I wanna focus on, at least in one of the sessions, is the bride that has too much time. She's 2 years out, and the bride that doesn't have enough time. Right? I want to focus on those two issues, plus how to front load. So the front loading always has to come first, but then those two issues we'll be talking about. I want to tell you too, just really quick before I give you your final word, the master class we do at Do You Speak Bride is a monthly coaching. There's a video training series that we have. Some of you have the video training series, but some of you don't. That is a one-time investment that you keep forever. You keep it, you get to be a part of an online community that's called I Speak Bride, where your stylists have a lifeline to ask any question they want to. And I'll do live videos on there a lot on specific things. You get access to the webinars we've done and the webinars of how to close a sale on the first time in. Things like that, how to connect with the bride. There are things, those webinars are all there for access for you when you have the video training. And for my own store, when I had the video training, I hired a girl who'd never been in bridal, had her watch it for 2 weeks. Did the workbook, put her on the floor on our busiest sale day of the year. She closed all 3 brides that she worked with. It was the best day ever because it paid for the training, and then I've got it still. So I think of it in dresses. There's the cost of 3 dresses, and then it's done. Instead of 3 wrong dresses I bought at market that hang in my shop, and then, right? And then just our weights. So know that that is available for you. They're resources because we're trying to empower your stylist to not come to you and have excuses, but to give you an opportunity to empower them to be able to lead with their heart and the language to do it that will protect your shop and empower brides. So as you leave from here, know this. In your own personal life, do not settle. Don't settle. Do not be afraid. Do not lead with fear. Make decisions based on your purpose and not your fear. And then you'll be able to teach brides the same. And instead of them going, I'm afraid I'm not enough, I don't deserve a really great gown, I shouldn't be wanting a great gown, like I shouldn't be wanting to wait for this great guy, I shouldn't be wanting it, I should just be satisfied with standing in line and being herded like cattle. In order to do that, you have to believe that's what you deserve. And it's our job to teach them differently, right? Get out there, give them the message. They're enough, they have enough, and they are special. Because love is happening in their life, and that's miraculous wherever you go. And I want to encourage you, the same thing. You are a miracle worker because you are now working in this arena of love. Share it, give it, and know that there is a beautiful truth that when you give strength, you receive strength. But if you're a strength taker, you'll never have enough. Give it, and when you give, you will receive. So go and give, and the brides will come. How do we do the great customer win back? This is where it starts. There's more keys tomorrow morning. We're going to go into 4 major keys, what I think of these customer win back, and I hope it's helpful. But it starts at this philosophy. And if you don't believe it in yourself, if you feel like someone else has your power and can take it from you, then you'll never be empowered to move forward. You'll be preoccupied with the people you think can take your power. No one can. It's inside you because you have it. You have enough. Good? Go and be, go and love. They need more of you in this country of bride. And with us as a multitude doing it, we'll make an impact. Let's start a ripple that makes a big difference. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for being here.